Hi, this is Faith Bernard, the holistic entrepreneur, and of course I'm doing this video from my home in beautiful Sedona, Arizona. And I'm really excited about today's topic because I'm going to talk about who do you identify as you build your list. Whether you're building a list online, offline, or both, and hopefully you're doing both because there's great opportunities to connect with the right people offline as well as online, and of course through social media platforms. Well, who should you be thinking about? As you put this in your mind, you will start attracting these individuals. There is a book that I feel that every network marketer should read. It's called The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. Why should you read it? Because Malcolm Gladwell is brilliant when it comes to psychology and human behavior and how it works, almost from very much from a scientific level, but also a very human level. And he identifies in this book, The Tipping Point, again by Malcolm Gladwell, so you can go look it up, is there's three groups of individuals that when you connect with them around a product or service, business, if they see it and get it and the timing's right, it can literally explode your experience in your business. It can explode the growth of your business because they have the ability to create massive action quickly. Okay, so who are these people that you want to be identifying? They are mavens, connectors, and promoters. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you a quick story. In the book, The Tipping Point, he talks about how hush puppies, I think this was back in the 1980s. I'm not quite sure of the generation. I think it's the 1980s. Could have been the 1970s, but I think it was the 1980s. Or the 1990s, that hush puppy manufacturing they were about ready to go out of business or shut their doors. And because people just weren't wearing hush puppies, they weren't cool. However, there was a group of kids, young adults, that started going to consignment shops and purchasing hush puppy shoes and wearing them as an anti-fashion statement. So they felt like it was It was basically saying, hey, we're not going to fall into the normal Fifth Avenue fashion mode. We're going to do our own thing, and we're going to wear hush puppies with our cool outfits. So that's what they did. And it just so happened that these individuals wearing hush puppies were at clubs and restaurants, and there was a fashion designer or a fashion promoter, if you will, that saw these kids wearing the hush puppy shoes. And there were some other individuals, there was like 2 or 3 individuals that saw these kids in Soho, New York, wearing these hush puppies. And they were very intrigued, like a shoe that you wouldn't think is all that, cool, not very fashionable. However, they were making it into a fashion statement, sort of a counter fashion statement to what was going on. And it just so happened that the individual or individuals were connectors and promoters, and perhaps also mavens. And they literally took hold of it. They also connected with other promoters and connectors and said, hey, these kids are really taking these hush puppies. They're basically purchasing them at consignment shops. You can hardly get them anymore because they're not being made available. And I think we should connect with the manufacturer of hush puppies and make this into a whole new fashion wave. And that's what they did. That was like the re-emergence of hush puppies. They were going to go out of business or just shut their doors. And then when the right individuals that saw this opportunity, they saw these kids wearing these shoes, and all of a sudden something that was falling into oblivion was now, headline, these cool hush puppies, maybe making them in different colors, slightly, just adding this little bit of extra interest, but it was because of their ability to be a maven, promoter, and a connector that this movement happened very, very quickly. I think of Paul Revere during the American Revolution. There were other people that were riding on horses, going from village to village, to town, to let people know about what was going on and, to forge ahead with fighting against the British. However, Paul Revere was really a true promoter and connector, and he was known and liked by a whole lot of people. So there were other individuals that just didn't have those connections, they didn't have that rapport, and they were out there waving the flag, and not a lot of people were noticing. But when Paul Revere did, a lot of people noticed and took action. And so, you know, you can change the course of history in addition to changing the complexion of your business. So, what is a promoter? Who is a promoter, and who's a connector, and who's a maven? Let's talk about mavens first. Mavens are people that are considered experts in their field. They might be experts in several fields, but they usually have a couple areas. Well, they tend to be an expert on a lot of things, really, actually. So mavens are known to do lots of research. They just, this is before the internet. I think when Tipping Point, the book was written, he wasn't even really talking about the internet, but these were the people that researched everything and knew a lot about a lot of things. So their friends, family, business colleagues knew if they wanted to find out about thus and so, you know, the best way to travel to Europe, or the, you know, how to stay warm at night when your heat goes off, you know, whatever it is. It could be any number of things. Yeah, you know, what are tips for hiking? All of that stuff. Someone who's a maven is going to be an expert in those areas. Their friends and business colleagues know them as a person. They become the go-to person. I want to know about ABC. I go to Faith. I go to Mary. I go to Sue, because they know, they're the one that knows that. So whether it's on food, someone that knows a lot about food and diet, and they put themselves out there, they know all the ins and outs on health and nutrition. Guess what? Their friends, when they want to know something, they're going to call them. Hey, what would I do for my immune system? What do you think about that new nutritional product? Or what do you think about that procedure, whatever it might be? Again, those are the individuals that pride themselves on doing their research and knowing a lot about a lot of different things, and people come to know them as that, and therefore that's why they are a maven, and that's why we go to them for information. Of course, now with Google, you can pretty much everyone can be a maven, but you know, there still are those individuals that have tremendous credibility because you know they do their homework. My husband is really great. Larry's really great at doing research. So there's a lot of things I'll refer to him to, you know, I'll ask him about. What have you heard about this? What do you know about this? Because he just is an impeccable researcher, and he always finds the best price, the best situation, and so really very much like a maven. Okay, so promoter. Well, those are easy. We know what promoters do. They promote. I'm a natural-born promoter. If I believe in something, I'm telling everyone about it. And I don't even have to think about it. I'm not trying to sell it. I'm not trying to make a business out of it necessarily. I just, if I believe in something, I'm going to talk to people about it. If I think it's giving me value, I see it giving other people value, I'm going to share it. So promoters just do that naturally. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to ponder what we're going to say. We are just promoting because we love sharing things with others that we think can make a difference in their lives, or we'll even promote other people, other, you know, like events even. It can be any number of things, not just physical products. It can be events that we believe in, people we believe in. We'll promote naturally, and I do it all the time on Facebook. And now a lot of people are learning to become promoters because we're sharing of ourselves and the things that we believe in. But a natural-born promoter, boy, that's a great person to get on your team. Okay, so the third individual are connectors. These are people that see connections naturally. They're saying, oh, this person should meet this person, and that person should meet that person. And they're bringing people together, and the whole becomes greater than the sum of the parts, right? I mean, or the parts themselves. So the whole is greater than the parts individually. In fact, just recently I was invited into an incredible mastermind group, and my friend Lori that invited me into the group, you know, I think she saw with who I am and what I'm about, she saw a connection that could enhance what this group is up to, and so we all each complement and enhance and raise up the other members of the mastermind, which is totally cool. And you learn about the coolest and most amazing things. I mean, just mind-blowing. So grateful to the mastermind process, and she was truly acting as a connector because she connected me with some amazing individuals. I also connect people. I do that. Probably promoter is my you know, if I had to pick one of the three, I would say that I'm first a promoter, secondary a connector, and lastly a maven. Though with Google, I've become a pretty good maven and learning about a lot of things. But those are the individuals that you want to identify when they come across your path, whether it's through your online marketing, through Facebook, Google Plus, any kind of social platform networking that you're doing. You're at a networking event. You could spot them. The mavens might be a little bit on the quiet side. They may not. But you're going to sense that about them when you talk to them, that they are very knowledgeable about a lot of things. And then you know you've identified a maven. You're talking to a promoter, you see them naturally promoting. Not like selling. This is different. They're not trying to sell anything. They're just promoting things that they believe in, that they feel will have genuine value for people at large, their friends, their business contacts. And they just do it naturally without having to think about it. And then lastly, the connector is a person always looking at, you should meet so-and-so. I think the two of you could do some amazing things together. Who knows what will come out of it, but some great synergy there. So that's what I wanted to do the video on today, is as you're building your connections, be thinking about those three groups of individuals and really identify when the timing is right and it's the right match, your product service opportunity is the right match for that maven, promoter, and connector. Watch out. The fireworks will happen, and you're going to see rapid change and growth in your business. With that, everyone, have an outstanding day, and we'll catch you on the next video.